How quickly can things get back to normal at this point?
Well, we've been working through the weekend. We have meetings all week. Bringing things back up online is a lot harder than shutting everything down. So we're going to do it methodically and make sure that we really start addressing some of the issues that we had in the system over the last 35 days.
What is so shocking, Paul, is that this seems to just be the surface of the problem. I mean, the fact of the matter is that there's a real shortage of people who work in air traffic control. 30-year low of certified controllers, 20% of the 10,500 air traffic controllers can retire at any time. There's just no backstop. I mean, if people call out sick or there's another shutdown, I don't know, do you have the bench for it?
You got the numbers exactly correct. Shutting down the academy in Oklahoma City because of the shutdown has really hurt also. So the pipeline has stopped. So we have to focus on getting the academy up and running, hiring people and training. It's a long training process to become a fully certified controller in the system. Depending on the facility you go to, it could take 3 to 5 years to be fully certified. So, and it really is on-the-job training. That's the only way you can learn it.
Because of the shutdown, has anybody, as far as you know, accelerated their retirement or decided to say, you know what, it is time to hang it up?
Yeah. So we have seen some have resigned. Some people that were in training just resigned because they don't like the instability. And then we don't know the exact numbers that have retired because obviously those offices were closed during the furlough. So we'll start getting that information also. Hopefully we didn't lose too many because that would have a negative impact on the volume of traffic we can run.
Does your association urge its members to stay on the job, or did it urge your members to stay on the job during the shutdown, or was that completely up to them?
So we're highly trained, highly skilled professionals. We reminded them that they are essential to the safety of the flying public, and we take that oath to the highest level. And they all came to work, and we tracked the sick leave during the 35 days, and we were lower in sick leave than we were historically this time last year. So that was really heartwarming to see how professional that workforce showed up every day. Now, keep in mind, there was a lot of stress put on them. There was stress that they didn't know how to deal with, how they were going to pay their bills as they were running out of money, what was, the uncertainty of how long this was going to go on. And an air traffic controller has a very high threshold for medical clearance, and they owe it to the public that if they're not fit for duty, they are not to come to work.
Do you believe, Paul, that the American flying public was as safe during any of the 35 days of the shutdown as they would be otherwise?
I believe the system was deteriorating. The safety net of the system was deteriorating. If you were on an airplane and flying through the skies, you were safe because the air traffic controllers are the guardians of the sky, and they were keeping you safe. The pilots and the flight crews were doing an amazing job also at this time. But the undue stress that was put in there, and the fact that we built this robust safety system over the last 10 years of reporting, identifying, mitigating risk out of the system, and then training it down the whole through the whole workforce. That wasn't happening for 35 days. So risk was in the system that we weren't mitigating. So therefore, I would say we were less safe, and we still are today, as we have to now start to identify and mitigate that risk.
You mentioned that the safety system was deteriorating and that risk was introduced. I mean, but the flying public, if you were on a plane, you were fine. How close were we? How close do we get to that safety system actually breaking down so that if you are in a plane, there could be danger? I mean, we're 35 days in the shutdown. If we went 40, if we went 45, would everything change?
Well, it's hard to see exactly what the breaking point was going to be, and that's why the uncertainty was we don't know how much risk was in the system because the people that would help us identify the risk were not working. And that's a deep concern. But what we were starting to see, mistakes being made for routine clearances because people were distracted and controllers were watching out for each other. We said, watch out for everybody. Make sure that, because people were distracted because they were thinking about, getting another job, driving a Lyft or an Uber or waiting tables after their shift. So they were also fatigued. So we knew there was a problem and it needed to end immediately. But we do not want to see another shutdown. It's just the uncertainty of what it could do to this system. As you saw, we had just had a handful of people that called out sick because they weren't fit for duty in our large en route center in Washington. Washington, D.C. and in Jacksonville. And we weren't able to open up all the positions. So what we do to maintain the safety of the skies, we reduce the capacity because we can't run the normal volume. You're safe when you're on the airplane because we will be the guardians of that airplane and make sure it's safe. But you will not be able to run the capacity, which will have a negative impact on the economy moving forward, and we don't want to see that either.